Hey fellow persuasive communication coach in Conor's classes. I'm Florian Muig, everyone calls me Flo. I've been with Conor since September 2010, working with him on these programs, and I'm a professional speaker and corporate trainer for rhetoric and charisma since July 2009. Now, over those years, I developed feedback patterns. Because you will see many of the things you encounter in a speech, in content and delivery, are repetitive. And when something is repetitive, you can create a pattern out of it. And when you have a pattern, you can give the pattern a name. Conor wants to encourage you to use more of these patterns when you give feedback, when you facilitate feedback, because patterns have three advantages in feedback. First, everyone in the classroom knows what we're talking about. Second, it is specific. It's not general feedback. Yeah, you could use more body language. It's a great idea, but how? No, you will see what I do with body language. And, of course, they are more memorable because they're symbolic names. People remember them. Only advantages with feedback patterns and giving them names. Here are, for your inspiration, here are 8 patterns that we constantly use also at IESE in those classrooms. The first one, S greater G. S greater G, specific beats generic. Specific beats generic. Many times speakers say stuff like, I love good food. Which one? Chateaubriand or a scorpion on a stick? I have many friends. Who? Boris, Dennis, Sasha? Who are your friends? Specific examples are better logos, better logic, they make more sense, and they are more memorable. Specific beats generic, S greater G. The second pattern, humor. Typical plus feedback in these sessions is, I like your humor. Great, it's motivational, it's a compliment. But does it help me grow? As a facilitator, then I ask back, that's great, but which one of the 8 patterns of humor did she use? They don't know. There's the link to all these 8 patterns. One of them is self-deprecating humor. You poke fun at yourself. It makes you vulnerable, authentic. It always connects you with your audience. So here's the symbol. What you say, for example, in the speech is, I'm more structured than a sushi box. That's funny. Third pattern, chocolate sprinkles. Do you know these filler sounds? I mean, you hear them all the time when other people present. M-A-M-A. Exception are the French. These are filler sounds that people use to bridge the pause between 2 words, and they are annoying and they kill your pause. Now imagine you have an ice cream, vanilla ice, very cliche, and you eat your ice cream. But the Italian ice cream salesperson put some chocolate sprinkles on top and he said, this is a falsa stracciatella. Now the ice cream is your speech. The chocolate sprinkles are those filler sounds, M-A-M-A. The problem is, my friend, it's not chocolate. It's dog poo. Get rid of those sprinkles. They don't taste good. And how do you do that? By telling people that they make them. That makes it conscious, and then they start to take them out. And that is great, to have just vanilla ice cream. Those are the chocolate sprinkles, filler sounds. Fourth pattern, the pause. The pause, your most important word you have. Once you get rid of those chocolate sprinkles, you can use great pauses. And you know, in the grabber, Conor always insists on this tension-building pause just before. Exactly. Now, pauses, that's the symbol, like hit the pause button, and you tell them they're great for gravitas, add more weight to your statements. They are good for suspense, tension. They are good for reflection. Use more pauses. The fifth pattern, coherence, the triangle of coherence. Once in a training session in Berlin, that was in 2012, I had a lady who said this in this tone with this facial expression. I was 8 when my parents got divorced. Something is wrong. It's not funny at the age of 8 when your parents get divorced. No. Now the triangle of coherence is content, body language, and voice. They must match. They must be coherent. Content, body language, voice. Only if they match, we perceive you, the speaker, as authentic, with great ethos, credibility. This is why always respect the triangle of coherence. Once you use that feedback pattern in a group, the next group will say there's something wrong with the triangle of coherence. That's the good thing about feedback pattern names, because they remember them and they use them right away and everyone knows what is meant. 6th pattern. Stage movements. Stage movements, super difficult for people. Either they don't move at all, they just stand there and talk about everything like this, or they move all the time like a lion in a cage, like a tigress in a cage, makes the audience completely nervous. It's anxiety, nervousness, it is poison for your ethos. What you want to do is, there's a new structural point in your speech, you change the position for 2 reasons. First, when you move on stage, what happens automatically? Attention goes up. It's a moving object on the horizon. Secondly, you support the transitions. In our temple, the speech temple that Conor also preaches, my speech structure building as well, I use the same thing. There is these pillars, for example, and there are A, B, C, which means you move once you go to the next point. And the simple rule that everyone understands right away, Conor loves this one particularly, is DPDP. DPDP, different paragraph, different position. DPDP. The 7th pattern is my biggest enemy as a public speaking, as a rhetoric coach by far. What do people do with their hands, their gestures, their arms? Angela Merkel, wedding ring twister, hand washing, or praying. And when they don't do anything, they're still standing on stage like this and never move their arms at other angles than 90 degrees. This is amazing. Why do people do that? You protect your weakest part of the body. And I get it. It's evolution. It's an instinct. But please, this is more charisma, less charisma, more charisma, less charisma. Open your body language. And the pattern is my dear friend T-Rex. The T-Rex is omnipresent. With all speakers on any stage, you see the T-Rex. So get rid of the T-Rex. 90 degrees, make it go extinct again. But Flo, what should I do with my hands then? Use hand gestures. Purposeful hand gestures. The 8th and final pattern for you as an inspiration, miss. First, metaphorical gestures. My entire life at IESE. My entire life at IESE Business School. My friend Boris and I, we are like this. I had to change my perspective. These are metaphorical gestures. You replace your words by gestures. They add meaning to your words. No meaning. No meaning. Super easy. Illustrative gestures. The coffee, the beer, the football, the keyboard, the book you read. You can illustrate anything. No meaning. No meaning. The S, the first S, symbolic gestures. Victory or peace. Cool, super. Okay, don't do that in Turkey. No meaning. No meaning. And the last S, in the class, Conor always teaches 6 signaling gestures. Signaling gestures like this one. This is a strong gesture. Cutting wood. Cutting wood with 2 hands, Conor. 2 hands. Great gesture. What was the other one? No way. No way. You. No meaning. No meaning. MISS. In your classrooms, the second group, the third group, they would say, oh, Christina needs more miss. You see, Christina needs more miss. Everyone understands it. It's memorable. It's a pattern. Feedback patterns rock. And here you have them. 8 feedback patterns for more effective feedback. Use them. Be creative. Come up with your own patterns. But take advantage of feedback patterns and these symbolic names because everybody understands it. They know what you're talking about. They're memorable. People grow and evolve much faster, we have discovered, Conor and I, over those years. I wish you all the best. Toy, toy, toy for your classrooms. And you know, feedback is the breakfast of champions. I will not even quote Ken Blanchard, who stole it, borrowed it from his colleague. But it's a great line, and somebody has to serve it. You will serve great breakfast in those classrooms. I'm absolutely